Right now at 6, more storms hitting the region. Which areas will see them most?
And swimming on La Crosse's north side faces an uncertain future. How the community can get involved.
Streaming 24/7 on the News 8 Plus app. You're watching News 8 Now at 6.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us for News 8 Now at 6. I'm Emily Brown.
And I'm Ken Kozarowski. We have an alert day to start off the week. Our First Warn team has been tracking some storms today.
Yeah, they're generally going to be weaker too, and so the alert day conditions really are kind of hitting on the edge where we don't need them until about 8 p.m. We still got a line to come through. Right now, no severe storms out there. Some marginal hail. We've seen some pea-size, even marble-sized hail with some of these storms, but overall, we're not seeing a lot. Right now, it's actually pretty much quiet. We've seen some storms approach Eau Claire right now. They've had a lot of bit of rain, and La Crosse have had storms. And Winona, you're starting to see approach of a line too from the west. Big picture shows we have one little area just hitting, getting close to Tomah, but the main line too is kind of stretching back from basically just hitting almost Winona all the way down to Prairie du Chien, and that's the line that generally could see some stronger storms going through. If we kind of zoom in, here's the one that's really indicated weak radar. It's going to go probably south of Tomah, fairly weak. This line here that is approaching Winona is a little bit stronger, getting on the edge of Eau Claire. You saw on the camera too. They'll have showers and thunderstorms for about an hour, similar to Winona. This whole line too is also hitting La Crosse at the same time, so it'll come through about an hour of showers and thunderstorms. And further south you go, it's going to be that. The bigger picture once the storms end is the strong westerly winds, as you know. The wind speeds out to the west are 20 to 25, so that'll be the thing going in the evening and overnight hours. Even though the precipitation comes to an end, it's going to be some gusty winds too. Rainfall amounts from the last 12 hours, it's just 12 hours, indicated that you've seen quite a bit of a dry break that we've seen, but overall further to the north, quite a bit of rain. So the wind's going to be the story going into Tuesday. Cooler conditions, nothing unusual, but definitely the better news is fairly quiet pattern too. So we'll break all that down a bit later in the broadcast.
All right. Thank you, Greg. And a reminder, you can always track weather up to the minute with our free to download First Warn weather app.
A jury is now seated in the Josie Dykman murder trial.
Among the jurors, only 2 women. Dykman is accused of killing 6-year-old AJ Pedrin in February 2023. A month earlier, he was hospitalized for a femur fracture. A doctor today expressing concerns about possible child abuse.
I suspect that this case is also going to be heavily dependent on expert testimony. You have the death of a child in a home. There is not a witness to what occurred other than potentially the defendant.
The trial starts tomorrow at 8:45, and News 8 Now will provide live coverage on News 8 Plus. Trial is also starting for the man accused in a road rage shooting homicide in 2024. Todd Geck allegedly shot and killed Kyle Dahl. Geck was charged with first-degree reckless homicide after Dahl's car crashed, and an autopsy revealed he died from a gunshot wound.
An Alva man is charged in the crash that killed an Onalaska teacher. Kirk Johnson faces homicide by intoxicated use of a vehicle. Police say Johnson's truck crossed the center line and hit an SUV. The crash killed third-grade teacher Kim Clark. Clark had been a member of the school district since 2002.
The La Crosse School Board will soon have a new leader.
Deb Shula losing her re-election bid in April. News 8 Now's JDS McGee is on the story live. JDS.
Yeah, tonight's meeting will focus on leadership changes for the La Crosse School Board. One of the biggest items tonight on the agenda is the election of a new board president. The meeting comes after former President Deb Sukla was not reelected. Board members will also go through a reorganization process as they begin a new term. Tonight will also mark the first meeting for newly elected member Loretta Haas. Now that meeting is set to start right about now. We will bring those updates later tonight at 10. Reporting in La Crosse, Jace McGee, News 8 Now.
All right, thank you, JDS. A News 8 follow-up. Meetings start this week on the fate of swimming on the north side. The outdoor pool at Logan Middle School is too costly to fix. The pool at Logan High School can no longer host swim meets. The public can weigh in at 5 public meetings. The first one is tomorrow at 6 p.m. at Black River Beach House. Mail surveys will also be going out. A heads up for drivers. Main Street is now closed between 24th and 26th Streets. Xcel Energy is doing some work. Right now, no word on when the work will be wrapped up.
A new exhibit landed at the La Crosse Children's Museum. It's the Pigs Can Fly interactive area. It features pieces of a real airplane, including the cockpit, wings, and tails. Kids can dress up as pilots and play with the dashboard and gauges.
I remember the very old plane that was here, and it's just exciting to have it back out for kids to play and pretend they're flying, and maybe they'll be intrigued by some part of aviation and want to get involved one day.
So that adds to the lower level exhibits that show ways to travel through the region by sea, land, and now by air.
Area school districts held a luncheon dedicated to military families today. It's part of the Month of the Military Child, hosted by Sparta and Toma area school districts. It celebrated family members serving at Fort McCoy and Vogue Field National Guard Base.
Annually, we celebrate the Month of the Military Child at a luncheon, but each and every day, it's important to celebrate our military children and support their families, the extraordinary things that they go through.
The high school's junior ROTC presented these colors at the event.
Several dozen protesters gathered at Lake Como in St. Paul this weekend after the lifting of a mining ban near the Boundary Waters. The U.S. Senate recently voted to open more than 200,000 acres to copper sulfide mining. Protesters voiced their concerns about water contamination and wildlife impacts.
My largest concern is that they start mining, right? And our waters are then contaminated and polluted, and the wildlife will die. The waters, will no longer be pure.
Meanwhile, mining advocates say the projects could bring hundreds of jobs to northern Minnesota. The company Twin Metals Minnesota, who will benefit from the ban lift, say they're committed to responsible development. Still to come, preventing abuse in schools, the bombshell investigation that inspired changes in Madison, and how the new laws protect your kids.
33 years of keeping the Mississippi clean. How to get involved in this year's river cleanup when we see you tomorrow.
Wake up to the best mattress deals at Ashley's Memorial Day sale. For a limited time, get 0% interest for 60 months with no money down on top bedding brands. And get a free upgrade on select adjustable bases. Going on now, only at Ashley.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we see you out there, building a life you love, knowing that when inspiration strikes, nothing should get in your way. At Blaine's, we're here to help, with everything you need to make it happen, at a value that makes it possible. Best-in-class products at unbeatable farm and fleet prices. So you can get everything to do your thing. Blaine's Farm and Fleet, being original.
To everyone making time for life's best moments, let us celebrate with you.
In Wisconsin, we love celebrating together.
Big days or any other day.
So much.
From hot and juicy to ooey gooey
to oh my word.
Oh my word. Serving you a handcrafted meal that makes
today a little bit more special. That's what fills us up inside.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Yeah.
We're all paying more. Utility bills are through the roof. Now, gas prices. And Congressman Derek Van Orden is making it worse. Derek Van Orden voted to slash clean energy production, raising energy costs. Electricity costs could go up $300 a year in Wisconsin. And Derek Van Orden voted to support the war in Iran that's causing gas prices to skyrocket. Tell Congressman Derek Van Orden, stop raising energy costs.
Extraordinary summers start at Ashley's Memorial Day sale. Discover Hot Buys starting at just $249. For a limited time, get 0% interest for 60 months. This power reclining sofa, only $44 per month. And save up to 90% off floor samples and closeouts. Only at Ashley.
New state laws aim to stop child predators before abuse happens. The push comes after a report that education officials investigated hundreds of sexual misconduct allegations against licensed educators from 2018 to 2023. Tonight, how DPI investigates misconduct claims and why lawmakers say these new guardrails will protect your kids both in and out of the classroom. A bombshell report. From 2018 to 23, the state's Department of Public Instruction investigated over 450 misconduct claims against licensed educators. Almost half involved sexual misconduct or grooming allegations.
We will always act swiftly and decisively to protect kids.
Grooming generally refers to a pattern of conduct designed to manipulate children into sexual acts. But it was not defined as a criminal offense under state law. That's part of what lawmakers say drove changes at the Capitol Capitol this spring. New laws now criminalize and officially define grooming behavior.
It certainly is applicable to schools, but it could be applicable to coaches, healthcare providers, childcare providers, your babysitter down the street.
Another law now requires schools to provide annual training on identifying grooming and professional boundary crossing.
And that doesn't just mean licensed educators, it means paraprofessionals. Everybody has to have that training.
Those materials aren't new. DPI in 2020 published a sample school policy on boundary crossing, and schools like Onalaska and Holman currently have policies defining what behavior crosses the line into sexual misconduct. Lawmakers say the new laws will put everyone in schools and beyond on the same page.
It will give a lot more weight to those claims and accusations.
State Senator Jesse James is a longtime police officer. He says making grooming a felony empowers law enforcement to protect children.
I think this is very proactive legislation that will help deter many acts.
That should clear any obstacles to removing criminals from state classrooms. But in a hearing last November, the amount of DPI officials tasked with conducting license investigations left lawmakers stunned.
Specifically, it's 1.5 FTE, but they have access to a full legal team.
1.5. Is that sufficient?
As it is right now, we could use more resources.
When DPI learns of misconduct claims, they're usually not the first to know. Law enforcement and school districts are usually running their own investigations.
They're often following up saying, hey, Sheriff's Department, have you completed this? Hey, school district, are you done with this particular investigation? And without subpoena power, we're doing that in a voluntary fashion with them. Sometimes they tell us to pound sand.
Underly and DPI maintain that their investigative work with law enforcement and school districts have consistently gotten the worst offenders out of the classroom.
And when we revoke their license, they are not teaching again.
But lawmakers agree. Stiffer penalties and speedier investigations have the power to make a critical difference.
Oftentimes, predators will be grooming a child for a long period of time before there's any physical contact that crosses the line. Mm-hmm. If you can catch that person and charge them with a felony before an assault occurs, you're saving a child a whole lot of lifetime of trauma.
Now, you can search any teacher's license status on the DPI's website, but if someone's license is revoked, you cannot see the reason why. DPI says they're developing a new database that will provide that transparency. Local school officials tell me they're also awaiting DPI's training materials to identify and prevent grooming behavior. And those policies under these new state laws have to be in place by September 1st. We will have more news ahead tonight, but first.
Yeah, once the rain ends tonight, we're looking at breezy and cooler conditions, and for the most part, quiet for the rest of the work week. So we'll break down what the temperatures look like. That all coming up on your First Warn Weather Update after the break.
We're a team you can trust, and we're local. We see our members out in the public all the time. Want to be able to look them in the eye and know that we did right by them.
Everybody's welcome at Firefighters Credit Union.
In 1977, Ford F-Series became America's best-selling trucks. And we've kept that title every year since. F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 49 years. And Ford, the most awarded brand for initial quality among trucks by J.D. Power.
Current and qualified Ford owners get $7,500 in total savings on a new 2026 Ford F-150. Only at your local Northland Ford dealers.
We really care about our employees and their families, and then also the community as a whole.
We have a lot of really, really good employees. It's like a family around here.
The customer is always number one. That's always our goal, to get them running.
Having Carrier as their main product with the support that they give us, the commitment to their product, to our people, is outstanding.
From the first call that you make, we'll take care of you every step of the way.
And air conditioning, your comfort is our business.
Crispy chicken sandwiches are on sale for $3.99 and 8-piece bone-in chicken only $9.99. We got you covered. Quick Trip.
We're an implant-focused practice. I think the advantage of a father-daughter practice is, I've been at this for 30 years now. I learned things that worked well and things that didn't work so well.
And it was fun to be able to just jump in and kind of complement that. I feel like it made both of us stronger.
You don't expect it when you walk into a dental office. You don't expect the family aspect, but when you walk into our doors, we're going to give you that.
If you think you have a full mouth of challenges, come see us. Come down for a free consultation.
A big part of my job is building relationships with people. And being the team you can trust means being here for you.
'Cause everybody's welcome at Firefighters Credit Union.
Yeah, the good news, all these storms so far have been sub-severe. We haven't had anything really strong, and they continue to push east. And once they get to, east of your area, you're pretty much done for really precipitation for the most part. It's going to be more wind here. You can see here's this line now crossing really the river. Currently not anything severe, a lot of lightning, but still nothing severe going on. But notice the temperature change from the 70s all the way back to the 50s, so that front is coming through here. And the storm stretches all the way north to Eau Claire. With that really wraparound rain has been pushed all the way north, even to Rusk County. So finally, all those areas have seen somewhat of a break in the precipitation, too, that we've had steady rain going on. If we look at it, here's one little storm that we were monitoring a little bit here. And you can see it's still trying to develop here just south of Toma here. That's kind of ahead of this line. And then here's this line that stretches basically now Eau Claire all the way down to La Crosse. You can see coming through here. There are some stronger storms in here. We've had some reports of pea-sized hail with some storms, so that wouldn't be a surprise to see some of these areas pick up as it pushes through with some gusty winds, maybe 35 to 40 due to the front, and there's wind associated. You can see the one up by Kellogg there too is starting to clear out because everything now is east of the area. In La Crosse, we just got maybe another 30 to 40 minutes of this activity, and then maybe a few showers persist. But once this pushes east, you can see the winds over there north at now 16 from the Decorah too. Those are the wind gusts, excuse me, not speeds. We've seen some gusts. So overall, big picture is here are the wind speeds, and then you can see the directional change to the west there, indicating that's your front. These are current speeds, and that'll be the big story this evening is the 20 to 25 or even higher sustained winds throughout a lot of the night out of the west northwest. So that is something everyone's going to see once we get pushed all this activity further to the west too. 24-hour rain amounts. Now these numbers here behind here are a little bit dated. They're not including current stuff, so they might be a little bit too low. The image is pretty much current. You can see overall a good swath of ½ inch as you go further north into Minneapolis area too. Further south and east, it's been very light. We've had some rain, but not a lot, which is good news. We've seen quite a bit. So it's been a generally light rain and nothing too heavy, which is a plus too, given our current saturated soils overall. As I mentioned, the wind, 25 to 30 out of the west. Throughout the nighttime, waking up, they'll still be pretty gusty out of that northwest direction. Gusts potentially over 30 to 35. That'll be something that will persist during the day on Tuesday, but a slow decrease in the wind speeds as we get into the afternoon. So going home, it's more like gusts now 20 to 25. Still breezy, but nothing too bad given that going on. As we look at the three things we're going to go on to next week, some changes with the pattern here, which is good news for probably a couple things. Is one, it's going to be cooler. We're not going to see the warm conditions. Winds on Tuesday. There are some minor precipitation chances Wednesday and Thursday, but overall very light precipitation, and we're not expecting any severe weather with this pattern. This pattern is likely to go through the weekend and maybe even to early next week, but it will be cooler than average. We should be around the mid-60s. As we won't be seeing that probably this week. Tonight, still good with the temperatures, 40s, because there'll be cloud cover and the wind will keep it up. Tomorrow, cooler, upper 50s, low 60s, a little bit below average, but your feel-like temperatures are going to be a little lower with that northwest wind that'll continue all day. The concern starts going into Wednesday night and Thursday night, given clearing skies or less cloud cover, lighter winds. Some of the colder spots could get down to freezing on both nights, and given that we were already in growing season because of the warm spell, something to keep in mind if you have plants and stuff outside. We might get close each night. Wednesday, we do have a shower chance coming in. It's just a weak little chance in the afternoon time frame. You can see it come right down here and a little bit of spot green showing up right into that time frame. A little bit of a shower come through. We might see that Thursday too, but most of the area will be dry. Once again, the bigger story will be keeping an eye on overnight temps. Cooler pattern. We will warm up a little bit towards the weekend before we have more cold fronts come through early next week. But overall, the good news is less precipitation and no severe weather. I think everyone would like that as much as I know you probably miss the 70s and your 80
We
temperatures.
sure do, yeah.
I know, they'll be back.
All right, we'll hold you to that one.
Okay.
Thank you, Greg. Coming up next in sports, a new cast of characters. Brian Gutekunst reflects on his 2026 draft class, plus some big news involving the future of state track and field tournaments here in La Crosse. Jacob is next.
Clear Choice Window and Home Solutions, your choice for quality, affordable windows, installed by our experienced team. Contact us or stop into our showroom today for your free estimate.
When the food truck arrives at our neighbor's place, it takes a community. Our attorneys don't just fight insurance companies, they fight hunger in Wisconsin alongside our neighbor's place. Because together, we're stronger. Bygoff and Rohde, your neighbors, your injury advocates.
Password 1234.
Incorrect password.
Technology, am I right?
We need a new tech lead.
This is the job for sponsored jobs.
Sponsor your job on Indeed and get matched with quality candidates when you need them most. Visit Indeed.com/hire now.
Find happiness. Find something familiar and new. Find connection. Find culture. Find community. Find yourself at the La Crosse Symphony.
Get your tickets now for Andre Returns on May 2nd, sponsored by TrustPoint at lacrossesymphony.org.
Did you know CancerGuard can help screen for multiple cancers?
Good to know.
CancerGuard helps screen for over 50 cancers, even before symptoms appear.
Wait, what?
It's one simple blood test.
That really is good to know.
CancerGuard, from the makers of Cologuard.
We all know moms work hard, and Menards makes it easy to shop for perfect Mother's Day gifts that will show her how much you care. We've got great gifts for mom. Spend more time outdoors with our impressive selection of patio furniture, whether relaxing in style or adding color and beauty to a backyard space. Trust Menards to help you make this Mother's Day just as special as she is. Pick up these great gifts on sale now.
Save big money at Menards.
From the law office to the clothing closet, our lawyers seek hope and recovery for the whole community. Bygoff and Rohde and our neighbor's place, where every injury and every neighbor matters, because together we're stronger. Winning justice for Wisconsin.
Covering all the exciting action from your community, here's News 8 Now Sports.
Well, Wisconsin's fastest feet and largest leaps are staying on the biggest stage in the state for the foreseeable future, as today the WIAA announced they will be keeping the track and field state tournament in La Crosse through 2034. The championships have been held on UWL's campus every year since 1990, with the exception of 2020 when they were canceled due to the pandemic. Traditionally held the last weekend of May or first weekend of June, the event has topped 20,000 fans on average over the last decade and brings in about $4 million to the La Crosse area. According to WIAA Executive Director Stephanie Hauser, the extension was a no-brainer.
The treatment that the fans, the student athletes receive by not only the university themselves, but the entire community of La Crosse really gives everybody who attends state track a red carpet treatment. We all feel very, very welcome there, and I think the community is really happy that we keep coming back, and so it's a win-win.
Hauser went on to say having state tournaments spread around the state is important and that they receive rave reviews when La Crosse is the host city. Meanwhile, the 2026 NFL Draft is in the books, and the Packers had a bit of a unique few days of selecting the newest batch of players to sport the green and gold. Brian Gutekunst made just 6 picks, the lowest number of selections in his tenure as GM. He traded up twice, took a kicker, and added just 1 player on offense. Goody says he felt good about the roster entering the draft and mentioned you can only get so much better over those 7 rounds.
Yeah, I think, when you're looking at the draft, our most seasons are determined by the guys that are coming back, not necessarily the guys who are getting to the draft. These guys are just starting their NFL journey, and there's so much in front of them. And I feel really good about all of them, and I think they're going to have, a chance to have an opportunity to be very good players in this league. But, you don't win the Super Bowl during the draft.
And in case you missed it, it was a weekend that Sparta's Cole Wisniewski and UWL's Dane Walter will never forget. Cole got drafted in the 7th round by the Philadelphia Eagles and is the first MVC player selected in the NFL draft. Meanwhile, Dane received a rookie minicamp invite with the Packers and will look to impress this weekend in hopes of receiving an offer. And if you're a T-Wolves fan, hopefully you're able to sneak in a nap today or else get some caffeine in you later, because Game 5 tonight set to tip at 9:30 from Denver. Minnesota dominating Game 4 to take a 3-1 series lead, but the Timberwolves will be without Anthony Edwards tonight and Dante DiVincenzo for the rest of the playoffs. Guys,
fair.
We'll see how they do. It's going to be tough without those two guys. Edwards is week to week, so if they can get past this series, they might get him back. But yeah, injuries are not a good time to have him right now.
No, and Edwards is such a focal point to them on the offensive side of the ball. And was it confirmed an Achilles for Dante DiVincenzo? It looked like it.
Tough break.
Unfortunate.
He was playing good ball too.
Yeah, that definitely hurts their chances, but other guys got to step up now.
Yeah, and they've got a 3-1 cushion as well in this series. Thanks, Jacob.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Greg has a final look at your forecast right after this.
Slow or clogged sink, toilet, or main drain? Maxwell White can help. Ask about our $99 mainline drain opening special. Includes a free camera inspection. Address the root problem now to avoid costly repairs or future damage. Call or book online today.
Honey, for dinner, do you want mac or cheese?
For your birthday party, you can have fun or games.
Are you ready to rock or roll?
We want both.
Don't settle for or. M3 is your yes and insurance partner. World-class expertise, yes, and individual attention. Don't settle for anything less than yes and.
Dreaming of a career but worried about time and cost? At CVTC, we make it easy. With low tuition costs and a wide variety of programs to choose from, we'll get you job ready in just 1 to 2 years. You'll graduate with minimal debt and find a career you love with competitive starting salaries. Dive into your future today with affordable, fast, and rewarding programs at CVTC. Visit cvtc.edu to learn more.
Sick of running out of hot water? The professionals at Maxwell White are here to handle all of your water heater needs. Our licensed technicians can install, repair, or replace any type of water heater with same-day or next-day service. Call Maxwell White. Plumbing done right.
If you're east of the river, basically you still got probably another hour and a half of showers and thunderstorms, some strong. West of the river, really it's just a few showers and fairly quiet. The bigger story tonight is the winds, west-northwest, probably 15 to 20 overnight, some higher gusts, and that'll continue through the morning commute. Something to keep in mind of. Otherwise, cooler for the rest of the week. Some rain chances Wednesday and Thursday, very minor, and then we'll start seeing some improvement by the weekend into early next week, but it definitely is a drier pattern that we desperately do need after a very wet April so far for the area.
Absolutely.
Looks like a good week to get some high school events in.
Yeah, a little baseball, a little soccer. That'll do it for us at 6.
We'll see you at 10.